And I think one element that is very important now to ensure is that the REM Council can be established and be credible.
Naša današnja gošća je ambasadorka Kraljevine Švedske u Srbiji, Šarlota Samelin. Your Excellency, welcome to Niš.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. What is the reason for your visit to southern Serbia, and what are the specific projects that Kingdom of Sweden is implementing in Serbia?
I am now in Niš because we are having a Nordic cooperation titled Smart Cities. And tomorrow there is the second event hosted by the city of Niš in cooperation with the Norwegian embassy. And so we are cooperating. Last time we had the first conference was under the Danish organization in Kragujevac. Then we have Niš tomorrow, and we will have the Finnish colleagues are in charge of a conference on smart cities in Montenegro, and Sweden will end this cycle this year in Novi Sad, also on the theme of smart cities. So this is why I am here. This is my second time in Niš. When I've been here before, I've been meeting with Swedish companies and persons with Serbians who have also a background in Sweden who are working here. We are generally active here. We are supporting civil society organizations all over Serbia and also media, like here in Niš.
There is a problem of pollution and insufficient environmental protection in Serbia. How can Swedish experience with the green transition help? And what does an energy efficient city means for citizens?
Well, if I look back to the experiences we have, we introduced in 1991 a carbon tax. And we were, I think, the second country in the world who introduced this tax. And it's been an efficient instrument to reduce emissions. So, and it has not hampered economic growth at all. So that is one tool. Another tool that is very important, I think, is to have a clear framework for your policies. You need to have also preferably a legal framework. And I think we have the Climate Act that is very useful. And we also have the Climate Policy Council. This is a publicly established institute with a task to scrutinize the government policies in order to evaluate how the policies are contributing to improve the environment. So you need to have, of course, clear targets. We have a target to have a fossil-free society in 2045. And you need a legal framework to reach this target. And of course, you also need to invest in renewables. And I know that Serbia is on track on doing this. You already now have quite a high amount of renewables in your energy composition, mostly hydraulic energy. But you are also taking steps to invest in solar panel parks and wind farms. And I think Serbia should continue with this and make use of the expertise that we are prepared and willing to share, but also the expertise from the European Union.
One of the biggest problems in Serbia and in Niš is air pollution. There is one of the biggest problems for health of citizens. Do you have experience in that area?
Well, I don't know exactly the use of energy here, but I imagine that it's mainly due to the use of coal and lignite. And of course, I think if you want to reduce the air pollution, you need to have a quite firm plan on how to replace this with renewables and other energy sources. And I have understood that this is a big issue for the citizens in Serbia.
Citizens are also concerned about lithium mining and the sincerity of some EU actors regarding it. What is your view about it?
I think I think you're referring to the Jadar project. And of course, to start with, Serbia is a sovereign country, and Serbia decides how it wants to exploit its natural resources. I think from what I know from the mining sector and from what I've heard from stakeholders, that there are deep concerns in Serbia because of how you have been dealing with mining in the past. And so there is a worry that it's going to destroy the environment. I have been able to get some information now, and I think that to cooperate with the European Union actually guarantees that this project will follow European standards. And I've also understood from the evaluations that have been undertaken that the Jadar area is one of the best researched area in terms of biodiversity. So I think there is the environmental concerns have been taken very seriously. And in Sweden we have a long tradition of mining. We have the largest iron ore mine in Europe, and it's a very important contribution to our economy. And the concerns, if you have concerns in this area, you need to also conduct an in-depth dialogue with the society, and to also understand the issues that you need to take into consideration. I think the Jadar project is a very promising project, and I think that this is something that is valuable to the local area, that it has potential. But it's also very important that you conduct a serious discussion and have the local community with you if you are going to go ahead with the Jadar project.
Okay, another topic, Sweden is 5 times larger than Serbia. Does the size of the country affect decentralization, and how has Sweden addressed this?
I think yes. From historical points, we are a very decentralized country.
We are centralized.
Yes, we have 290 municipalities and 21 regions, and we have a very strong local self-governance. Both regions and municipalities have the right to raise taxes. Mm-hmm. And they also have the right to decide on how to allocate these taxes, the income. And of course they have constitutional obligations. The municipalities are obliged to take care of schools and also elderly care, child care, social benefits, building permits, etc. They can take some fees, but 70% of their tasks are being financed by the taxes they raise. And this is very important in order to have local engagement in your development. And it's easier to take decisions closer to the citizens, which is very positive. it's also very positive that you have the regions who are responsible for public transport and also healthcare, among other things. And I think what we are seeing in Sweden is that the regions and the municipalities can actually assist the government in running the country. And they can also ensure that the obligations of the state are being executed more rapidly, and also sometimes I would say they're also more cost-benefit advantages, if you can. And the engagement on the local level is also guaranteed when you are taking decisions on a lower level. So out of our experience, it's something that we cherish. But it's also a challenge. When we had COVID, one could also see that there was an issue of cooperation between the regions, because they have such a strong local self-administration. And so we are actually trying to see how we now can also ensure a better cooperation between the regions.
How do you assess the state of media freedom in Serbia, and what is the importance of media freedom and local media in general? In Sweden, press freedom is one of the 4 basic law in constitution.
Yes, yes. Well, it's to have a free and independent media is a cornerstone of any democracy. And I think we are all globally witnessing how these situation for journalists are being more difficult. My country is very concerned about these tendencies. And we are the 2nd largest donor globally to support free and independent media. And this is also, I have understood, a challenge in Serbia. And we, from the European Union side, we are encouraging Serbia to make progress and to complete reforms in order to ensure free and independent media. And I think one element that is very important now to ensure is that the REM Council can be established and be credible.
Sweden is one important member of European Union. Serbia has been on a EU path for 24 years. Do you see political will in Serbia to join the EU? And do you believe there is still political will within EU for further enlargement?
I think Serbia's place is in the European Union. If you look at the Serbian diaspora, the largest diaspora is in European Union member states. Young people from Serbia, they very often go and study in the European Union. The economic relationship is extensive with European Union members. So I think it's a logic step for Serbia to become a member of the European Union. I have been working on and off on EU enlargement issues for the last 25 years. And I have witnessed Serbia's relationship to the European Union. I remember when Serbia became a candidate country, we were all extremely hopeful. We thought Serbia would become a member in 2018. From the Swedish side, but also from, of course, the European Union side, we have assisted Serbia for many years with a lot of expertise and also financial aid in order to help Serbia to undertake the reforms to join the European Union. I think there are also, it was very clear before Christmas, the government put a non-paper on the table with a timeline of reforms they wanted to complete by end of January this year. I see that some of these reforms are still pending. I hope that the new government will reinforce the efforts to undertake the reforms and also join the European Union membership. I think that this is something Serbia does for itself, for its citizens, and it's something that we are strongly encouraging and supporting your country.
A few weeks ago, there was a meeting between Swedish Minister Jessica Rosencrantz and President Vučić, and President Vučić said that they agreed and to disagree. What is the disagree point between them?
I think the conversation between President Vučić and Minister Rosencrantz was a very good conversation. It was open in a friendly atmosphere, and it was also very clear that there were different interpretations of the Serbian reform efforts towards joining the European Union. And my minister expressed the wish to see more concrete progress in Serbia in terms of improving the work of the institutions and also undertaking the reforms for the electoral reforms, the media reforms, and encouraging the president to keep pushing in this direction.
Are you aware that many Serbian citizens, pro-EU citizens, have become skeptical toward the EU over time due to issues related to Vučić regime, lithium mining and Kosovo?
I've seen different opinion polls. I have also seen opinion polls that are not so negative. I think it's sometimes depending on how you pose the question. In terms of the Jadar mining project, I can understand the concerns by the Serbian people, but I can also ensure the Serbian people that the European Union is not pushing Serbia to complete the Jadar project in cooperation with the European Union.
What about the first point, relation with Vučić regime?
If you represent a country, you have to speak to the other person who is representing a country. And the person representing Serbia on the highest level is President Vučić. So it's very important to have an open dialogue with President Vučić. And I think also now you have a new prime minister, so of course also to have an open dialogue with the prime minister and the new ministers. This is the only way to try to find common ground and also put concerns on the table.
There have been 5-6 month-long students and civil protests in Serbia, which have gained international attention. How do you view these protests, and as a diplomat, what do you expect from them, and what do you expect from authorities?
I am, as a foreigner in Serbia, following the events, of course, very closely, and I'm amazed by the mobilization of young people. One reflection I make is that we hear very often that the young generation is not very active and only look after their own interests. Well, I think the example in Serbia shows that the young people are very engaged. They want to stay in their country, they want to invest in their own country, and they want to see the institutions work without political interference. And I think that these are very normal requests that are supported also by the European Union, and they are also in line with what we are encouraging Serbia to do. So I think the protests are showing that the young people are extremely engaged, and I think this is something very valuable to work on and also to cherish in a country. I have no idea on how this will continue. It's very difficult. I was very surprised also to see the mobilization that has been taking place, because I'm only here since a short time. But I'm very interested to see how the dialogue will continue between the students and also the government.
So you said the EU and Sweden support students' requests.
The requests that have been put forward by the students on letting the institutions work to fight corruption are requests that have also been put on the table from the European Union side. Okay,
thank you. There is a large community living in Sweden. What has been their contribution to Sweden, Serb society in Sweden?
Yes, it's amazing how many Serbs are living in Sweden. Of course, I hear figures because it's very hard to know, but 130,000, 150,000. Of course, second, maybe even third generation. And I also, where I grew up, there was a Serbian family living close to us. For us, of course, we never really think about if you're a Serb or Serb origin, or if you have a Chilean origin, or because you are people contributing to our society. And I think we have been very fortunate to have a high immigration from Serbia and other countries on the Western Balkans in the 60s, contributing to the growth of our economy. And there are Serbs active, of course, in the economy. We have doctors. We have very prominent persons also working at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm in healthcare. And we have football players and actors. So, and I think also handball players. So we are very grateful for the contribution. And of course, this has also helped us strengthening the bilateral contacts. Mm-hmm. And it makes also the bilateral contacts easier. And also, I have seen how Swedish companies have gained from this in Sweden, but also Swedish companies establishing here in Serbia. And we have quite a big number of Swedish companies who are well established in Serbia for many years.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Samelin, for this interview.
Thank you.
Bila je ova emisija 15 minuta sa ambasadorkom Kraljevine Švedske u Srbiji.